Hey review family, keep it time. My name is Jay Morris, the review guy, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one I'm going to be covering the new Revenge album entitled Strike.Smother.Dehumanize. Revenge is a Canadian metal band formed at the turn of the millennium, and this is their 6th studio-length album, available now on Season of Mist Records. They've pretty consistently been ripping off heads and proceeding to defecate in whatever canal was left over since formation with various EPs and splits and studio-length albums. They've never went too quiet for too long. They know what they want to do with their message, and they get it out there. Honestly, this was one of my most anticipated records of the year going forward, probably my most anticipated Season of Mist record. I really enjoyed a lot of the singles that were released and generally just what the band represents, both sound, message, because in many ways sound and message go very much hand in hand with this band. Unbridled rage filtered through the lens of passionately angered metallic instrumentation. This isn't necessarily technically proficient, but I think you are looking for the wrong thing if you go into a Revenge record expecting that. This is relentless pounding. The production is as dense as it is measured. The best way I can explain it is it feels like an unhinged mental breakdown in the musical sense, but just as artistically sound as anything else. This really does feel like just snapping. Sure, people could say it's one-dimensional. People could call the band one-dimensional. They could say that sometimes it's so much, it gets too much, it becomes a little bit cumbersome, and they lose the intentions. But as long as you focus on the intention presented, you should stay on track. Because generally, this band knows what the hell they're doing. They want to blast your ears, they want to sound putrid, they want to sound rancid, they want to blast you with the most disgusting of sounds that they can possibly muster up. They want to bend sound in such a way that it literally sounds like any sort of excrement that you can find, dripping down the walls and oozing from every orifice. They want to be that horrific sight. They want to be that horrific smell. They want to paint the imagery of just straight up absurdity. They want to create a sound that is so constant, so intrusive, that it properly accompanies their harsh critique of anything that is orthodox. Most of these vocals are sharp shrieks and screams that coincide with these slurpy, gargled vocals that are so pitch-shifted, so in-your-face, so all-encompassing and engulfing the mix that it sounds like a Pissgrave record or like a gore grind record. It literally sounds like a gore grind vocalist or just generally a really underground, brutal death metal band. Between the lines, there are influences coming from black metal, death metal, grindcore, power violence, extreme metal. To label them simply as black metal is wrong. They are more bestial war metal, or like blackened bestial war metal. And bestial is a great adjective to use, because some of these pitch-shifted vocals read like a slobbering beast that has been starved in a cage for far too many days, and it's finally breaking out of its cage to exact revenge, pun somewhat intended there, on its captor. But I do want to mention a track, Salvation Smothered, Genocide Flock, which was a single that I vividly remember really getting me excited for the record. It shows that they can exhibit some sticky bits. It's not all just these frantic bursts of energy. They settle into a riff that, yes, is just as grim, but is much more consumable and punchy. Easier to read, if you will, and these pop up on various sections of various tracks. But this record... it's just vicious. It's maddening from the very first track to the very end of the last track. I would say my only main complaint, and this doesn't necessarily rest on the shoulders of the band so much as the style that they're performing, is much like a Pissgrave record or much like a slam metal record, it can eventually become just one solid motion. So heavy, so endless that it twists and it bends so much in so many different ways that it somewhat becomes unrecognizable. So fast, such a flurry of blast beats and various rhythms, shots of noise, cycling vocals, that you begin to lose sight of the project you're listening to. It sometimes can blaze by at such a high velocity that you can lose track of where you are, what came last, what's about to come, what did you just hear. In that form, yes, it can blend together, I won't lie. So many of these tracks are about the devil in the details. And considering they go for the more brutal side of the coin as opposed to technicality, very much like 90% of the time they land on that side of the coin, I can see a lot of people seeing that as a negative, and certainly that is something to consider. That is something that definitely it can take away from the enjoyment of this record. But nonetheless, I think this is a very savage, vicious record from a band that does this style more justice than a lot of other people. It doesn't feel overblown, it doesn't feel overwrought, it doesn't feel like it's shot to hell production-wise. It has a good production style, a good mix, without ever getting too clean. And generally, I did enjoy a lot of this record more than I didn't, and besides those critiques, I think it is one of the heaviest records you're going to hear this year from a band that does it pretty much like no one else does it. Except maybe Bestial Warlust, I don't know. Otherwise, I'm going to be giving this album a 7 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Have you heard this new revenge record, Strike.Smother.Dehumanize? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss the record with you. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is, my name is Jay Morse, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying,